going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you follow any news about Thailand, you probably know that Thailand is due to open up to vaccinated tourists coming from 42 low-risk countries on the 1st of November. This is actually very good news. But what are some of the things that they are not telling us that the people who might want to come here in November might have to look into before they actually buy their tickets? So just about a week ago, the Prime Minister went on TV and he announced 10 low-risk countries that Thailand was going to open up to vaccinated tourists. This was very good news, and actually I'm gonna go over what are the requirements because I've seen way too many misinformation over there on social media. But for the people who click on this video because they're planning to come here sometime in November and they are worried about what are the issues that they might face once they arrive here, I'm going to pour like a time key down below over here. So like this, you guys will know, you guys can just skip to that portion if you already know all this information. But now let's get to those requirements that you need to know before you actually come over here. At first, they announced that they were going to open up the country to 10 low-risk countries and then get expanded to 42. I did the quotes, air quotes, because the low-risk countries are not actually low-risk. Some of these countries are doing much worse than Thailand, but because maybe I don't know, there's a high rate of vaccination, or maybe it's just a lot of people come from these countries to come visit Thailand and COVID is really hurting the Thai economy, so they're being deemed as low risk. But either way. So what are the requirements? If you're coming from one of these 42 countries, I'm actually going to have like a list going through this. So like this, you guys can't actually see it. Don't worry if your country is not on the list. You can still arrive here through the Sandbox program that has been expanded to Bangkok, Pattaya, Chiang Mai, and Buriram for whatever reason. What are the requirements if you're coming from one of these 42 countries? First of all, you have to be fully vaccinated. You also have to live in one of these countries for 21 consecutive days. So if you're coming from the United States and you do a layover someplace in Qatar, for example, you are fine. But if you're coming from the US and you decide to do a stopover, like you decided to spend a week in the Philippines, that is not part of the list, you cannot come in through this process. You have to do the whole Sandbox one. Another requirement is that you have to get a PCR test 72 hours before traveling over here. Once you arrive here, you're also going to do a PCR test, which is going to bring me to my other point, which is you have to make a reservation at the SHA hotel for the first night that you are here while you're waiting for your test. And you're also going to need a $50,000 US insurance policy in case you get sick. Well, if you meet all the requirements and both your PCR tests are both negative, you are free to travel about Thailand. But what will happen when something goes wrong? This is the stuff that no one is talking about. So what will happen if, let's say, you get here and you have a positive PCR test? You tested positive for COVID. Most likely you're going to have to stay in a SHA hotel. And if you are sick, they'll probably take you to the hospital and your insurance most likely will cover everything. But will your insurance cover for the time that you spent in the hotel? If you only here for, let's say, a few weeks, will you risk spending 5 to 14 days in a SHA hotel if you're only here for a month? Are you willing to spend that much money just to travel over here and then spend up to 14 days in a hotel room stuck basically in COVID jail? These are all issues that you have to think about before coming over here. The other one is, let's say you your PCR test is fine, it's negative, but then the guy sitting next to you on the plane, they tested positive. What will happen then? Do you still have to be quarantined up to 5 days like they are doing with some of the sandbox program? So these are all questions that you're gonna have to think before you come over here. And let's say, okay, you're lucky, nothing happens, all your tests are good, and you are free to travel. Here in Thailand, what will happen? All the bars are still closed. The restaurants are not allowed to serve alcohol. There's still requirement on the number of people that's allowed into restaurants. A lot of restaurants and bars has been closed because of not having any customers for such a long period of time. So don't be surprised if one of your favorite bars or favorite restaurant is out of business. And if you go to a restaurant and you cannot even have a glass of wine. So is this something that you want to, I don't know, gamble to come to Thailand? There's other requirements, like for example, if you go to my house, and I decided we're gonna have a couple of beers together, I'm actually breaking the law, because as the law is said, people are not allowed to gather for more than one person for when it involves alcohol. So there's all these requirements that is going to make things a lot more difficult for the first people who coming over here. Right now they're talking about opening up the bars and open up some of the entertainment areas, like on December 1st, I'm sorry. But that is still just a proposal. It still hasn't been approved. Things can change, and as you guys probably know, here in Thailand, things change at any minute. It's just, all it takes is just an increase of number of COVID, and for the government to panic and for them to shut everything down again. Wow, it's incredible how quick it got dark. I started making this vlog when it was still bright outside, and now it is dark. It's, this time of the year here in Thailand, it gets dark really fast. One of the things that I really want to tell you guys is to do your own research. Don't follow YouTubers, don't follow Instagrammers, don't follow Twitters, don't follow any of this stuff. Do your own research. Make sure that the decisions that you make is based on information that you get from official sources. And be aware that these official sources often speak out of terms because this is Thailand. They often jump the gun, or they provide information and then just to come back a day later and retract it. So be aware of that stuff. So my advice is that I wouldn't gamble to come to Thailand in November, but maybe December. If everything works out well in November, let them work out all the kinks to make sure that it's not going to be an issue when you arrive over here. And last one, also be aware of YouTubers. There's a lot of YouTubers that claims that they are doing research, that they're trying to get information for you guys, like they're working for you guys and stuff, but they're also actually working for the Thai Tourist Authority, which to me it sounds like a conflict of interest, because they will not tell you things that's kind of put them in a bad light, or kind of put Thailand in a bad light, or might deter tourists from coming over here. But in my case, I don't work for anyone, so I tell you guys as I feel, and I tell you guys the truth as according to the information that I have available to me at the time. But that is going to be it. I just wanted to make this quick. Consider like your public service announcement, something that I want to provide some information to you guys, because yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I don't want anyone to come over here, spend all this money to come over here just to find themselves stuck in quarantine. So I hope to see you guys here soon, and you guys be awesome. This is the time that I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new videos. I always ask my subscribers, before you subscribe, watch another of my videos. See if that is the type of content that you're going to be interested on. And if it is, yeah, now subscribe. Hit that bell icon. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Right now, just to give you guys an idea how everything is right now in a place like Pattaya, for example. See, all these places, all the series, all out of business. Even, let me show you guys over here, even this McDonald's down the road that is closed. So if you're coming here on the 1st of November, chances are that these places are still going to be closed. Chances are that they're going to be closed on the 1st of December. So maybe not until next year that this place is going to be open. So if you're here early and you're looking to, I don't know, you're looking for places to go hang out, it might be limited. Some of your favorite places might be already closed and out of business.